you guys, welcome to That Lady Heather Reality in Resin. I'm still working out my camera situation. I got this new camera and it has a gimbal on it and I just can't get it to work. And I feel like maybe I was ripped off, but we'll see. Anyways, this is Reality in Resin. Last time we were together, well, we dried Daisies and Buttercups. Since then, I've dried a few more other things like dogwood. There's some cherry blossoms here, some white dogwood. Look at how red that guy turned out. It's awesome. There's also a teeny tiny little maple leaf somewhere that is, I keep getting lost. I hope he's not getting damaged. He's under here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There he is. So small. I need to stop touching it. Hopefully you can see. And then these are the molds we use. So you can kind of see how it goes. I hope you can see me. I feel like maybe you can't see me. Anyway, these are the molds we use. This one is my favorite mold for a daisy necklace. It goes this way. It's awesome. So now it's time to get my resin using a brand called Magic Resin, and it's the art version of Magic Resin. I think they call it art and craft resin. And I'm just going to use a tiny amount, probably only 100 milliliters. So really what I'm going to do is use this measuring cup and I'm going to measure the hardener to the level 2 and the resin part, fill it up until we hit the 4. Resin needs to be mixed for a minimum of 3 minutes. I like to mix mine for around 5. I will go get the resin now. Let's get started. So first thing is I put on my gloves because you gotta wear protective equipment, and I put this mask on. So let's do that. Once I have the mask on, you won't be able to hear me, so I'm probably just going to go in silent mode. So first, this is B, and it says B. Okay, so you need to mix your resin. You need to stir your resin for 3 to 5 minutes. I've been stirring this so far for quite a while. I think there's something floating in it, so I've got this other toothpick to pick out any little floaters. Yeah, see, there's like whatever that thing is floating in it. So I will get that in a sec. I just really want to make sure that it's stirred. Whatever that thing is too, though, I also don't want to I don't want to break it apart anymore because then it will be even harder to get out. So I might just get it out now while we're talking. Fish it out. Who knows what it is? I can't get the camera to focus. It's too close. Let me see what I'll focus in. No, it's too close. It's just like a little, maybe even another little piece of resin. I don't know. I'm just going to put it up there for now. And I'm going to continue. Oh no, is there another something in there? There might be one more thing in there. Anyway, I want to make sure it's stirred, so I'm just going to continue stirring. I want to try and avoid getting bubbles in, so I just kind of added more bubbles right then by mistake, which isn't good. You also want to make sure that you, every now and then, you go around and you scrape the sides and you scrape your thing off your stir. Make sure it's all mixed in. We do have some bubbles, but I'm not too worried about them. So we stir. Again, stir for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so I managed to get out that other little thing. I have a paper towel. I'm just going to wipe it onto the paper towel so you can see whatever it was. It's gone now. Wiped on the paper towel. And then I just put the paper towel aside. I might use it later. And I put my stir stick aside, which I might use later. And as you can see, all of these little air bubbles have come to the top. And that's what we want. The longer you let your resin sit, it starts curing. So you need to make sure that you don't wait too long. But you also want the bubbles to rise to the top. And the longer it sits, the more opportunity there is for your bubbles to rise to the top. So I'm going to let mine sit for a little bit. And then I'm going to blast it with some heat to get rid of whatever bubbles are there. And then I'm going to start pouring. Stay tuned. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my bubbles to rise to the top, you can see them in there. They're starting to rise. I brought my heat gun over, so maybe I'll give it a little quick blast. But it hasn't been long enough. Oh, and my heat gun. You got to make sure your heat gun is hot. So I don't want it too hot because I don't want the resin to burn. I like mine to be at around the number 4, which it's at now. So, and these have a little bit of bubbles at the top, so I'll blast them with some heat. Sometimes I hope you can hear this. Sometimes I stir at the same time, just slowly, which does 2 things. It helps break up the bubbles, but it also helps incorporate the resin further at a higher heat temperature. Make sure you're wearing your ventilation mask for this process because it definitely starts like the fumes start coming off of it if you're heating it up for sure. And you should also know the higher you heat your resin, the faster it starts curing. So if you're going to do this to try and make it as clear as possible, you also need to know that your working time is significantly reduced. Alrighty, so now that that part's done, I'm just going to give my molds a quick spray of alcohol. This one is a project I'm working on, and I will show you what this all is maybe tomorrow along with these daisy necklaces. We'll do the whole thing at once. How about that? And then I just kind of wipe off if there's any dust, if there's any like glitter in places. I just kind of do a final little. I'm not so much concerned about all this stuff because it's all on the outside of the mold. What I'm really concerned about is the mold itself, like the inside of the mold itself, where your resin's going to sit, where your flowers are going to sit. This might look deceptive on camera because I'm using this craft board to put things on, and the craft board isn't clean, so some things might be showing through that aren't really there. Anyway, I might do this without you guys so I can see properly what I'm doing, but I do it to all of them. Like, see all this black in here? This should clean that right up. See? And it goes on the paper towel. And it's gone off your mold. Anyway, I'll be back. Bubbles rising to the top. How's my resin doing? Let's see. It's looking pretty good. Then most of the bubbles have popped on their own, and it's getting warm. So I'm just going to give it one more quick little Rooney to pop any remaining on top. And now I'm going to begin pouring. The one mold I'm most concerned with is this guy and that guy. Those are my two that I'm really wanting to make some good daisy necklaces with. So I might just start pouring with them. This thing that I've got, it's sort of like a thing over my neck to film, and it's very hard to see and film at the same time. So bear with me. Now at this stage, you just want to pour in a little bit. You just want to pour in enough to kind of fill the mold halfway, not even. So I might add a little bit more to that guy. So see, now you can't see it because it's completely full, but it's only half full. So I'm going to carry on and I'm going to fill all of these, and you guys stand by. Also, okay, so I had some extra resin. I filled in the ones I wanted to, and then a few more, and I had some extra resin. So this is a soap dish. So I've begun creating a soap dish. Tuned. The next step is to now put in all of the flowers. So let's do that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with this soap container. I'm going to put in something pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to put him in the soap container. My friend just did her bathroom in all sort of butterfly theme, like monarch butterfly and orange. So I'm going to make this soap container for her to put in her bathroom because she's the best and I think she'll like it. I have to be very delicate with these butterflies. You also have to keep in mind that your mold is upside down. So you're working upside down a lot of the time. So now he's out. I want him to be in the mold upside down. So let's see if you can watch me do this. You can clean this. Be pretty careful. And look at the back. See how cool that is? Oh, I almost feel like she would like the back better than the front. But we shall see. I'm going to put him. I wonder if I could. They kind of go translucent, so I would love to be able to show both sides, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. We shall see. So I'm going to put him in, and hopefully there's enough resin that hasn't slipped all down the sides, and he'll stay there and cure into whatever resin there is. We also don't want there to be holes. So he's there for now. You can see him. And now we'll do the necklaces. Try and get better light so you can see properly. So I've got all my flowers here. And what we have to do is put them in. So, but they've got stems. So I got to clear off all the stems. And then I'm going to place them in each necklace that I think they'll look good in. Hopefully this will let you see better what I'm doing and working on. But I have to say it's very hard to do this and film myself doing this at the same time. So, and I'm running out of time because the resin. Actually, no, I'm not running out of time. As long as the resin is poured into your molds, it's definitely starting to cure. But I should have enough time to put all of the flowers in. And then, so this part is me sort of centering everything, but also I'm pushing everything down enough in case there's any bubbles underneath the flower, like if there's any bubbles, in, like in that hole there. If I push, hopefully they're coming out, and hopefully there are no bubbles hiding underneath these petals. So that's what you're really looking out for. Okay. So I'm kind of holding it so it doesn't bounce into all the other things that I'm working on. And these dried in drying crystals, so I do like to give them a bit of a brush. I could give them a little like this, just to make sure we've got as much of the crystals off as we can. Then in there. And then I go around like before. Maybe tap the center, make sure that's all out. And now I want my petals to be lying flat. So I push them down. Kind of have to push them down like one at a time. And I kind of do that. Like I push and hopefully force any bubbles to the top. This is where my little hole is to put the jewelry piece, so I make sure that the two petals are in between that. And then that's how that goes. I'm going to carry on doing this, you guys. I'm going to take this, I'm not going to show you, and I'll catch you up when I'm finished filling all the spots with daisies, butterflies, maple leaves. We'll see what else I put in. Hang on, back in it. Okay, so I've put in all my flowers and the ones that I plan on using. As you can see, I managed to get a dogwood in one of them, not too many more. My butterfly is here and he seems to be staying put, which is good news. I didn't use too many in this mold. And then over here, I'm going to show you this tomorrow, but these are all hard. So for this one, I poured in clear resin. I put saran wrap on top and smushed it in. I'm going to do another video outlining how to do this exactly. But just a little bit of recap, because you're going to see me do this at the end of this video with these guys. So here's where we're at for now. These will cure overnight, and they'll be hard in the morning, and it'll be time for the second step. See you then. Bye, guys.